Hello, hello, and welcome to... I think I'm gonna call this video trying to find the good in gacha or finding the good in gacha. And in this video, as the title is going to imply, I'm gonna try to talk about what gacha games do really well, or games that use gacha, and how we can ask for more. And I'm assuming that if you click on this video, if you watch this video, right, you more or less care about video games. Because like the vast majority that plays games, they buy the game, or even if it's free to play, right? They buy the game, they play it a little bit, they do their thing. They're not really into internet, right? And I've been thinking about this stuff, so I just want to talk about it. In this video, it's gonna be kind of rambly. I don't know how long this will be, but and in the background, I'll just be running around. When I try to find content for games like Wuthering Wave, Genshin Impact, Heaven Burns Red, it's kind of hard to find people playing the games, talking about the games, talking about the lore. There are some people that do those kinds of videos, but most of it is you have some guides, you have some people that talk about the lore, but if you... I don't know if this is just a thing with... I don't like these words, but you know, like content creators or influencers or whatever. If it's just a thing of playing the game, like hate the game, not the player. I'm talking about YouTube, not about content creation, not about the actual games. But it's very hard to find people talking about the actual games. It's a lot of reacting to news, or some people call it drama, and that's fine in of itself. There are also channels that specifically focus on news. For example, I used to play a lot of MMOs, and there was a channel, I think it was called MMO Byte. I think he also does gacha stuff now, but he specifically, he is a news channel. That's what he covers. He never claimed or claims to be, I talk about World of Warcraft, I talk about RuneScape, whatever it is, right? No, he talked about games that are coming up, development changes, publisher changes, new info, release dates, when is the new patch dropping, when is it coming to the West, when is it releasing in the East, you know, he is a news channel. What I'm talking about is people that cover the actual games, but then they don't, if you go look for content, there's no content about the games, which I think kind of sucks. So I'm just gonna talk about the actual games, I guess. And when I say trying to find the good in gacha, I mean like all of it, right? So in my other video I talked about the odd is fallacy, where just because this is the way it is, it doesn't have to be that way, right? So one thing that they kind of have to, but one thing that games that use gacha do really well, and I mean extremely well, is character design. And, well, of course they have to, right? Because that's how you make the money, by people pulling on the characters. But I want to give them props for that. they they try to cater to every niche, right? Some people like cute and adorable characters, and when they design cute characters, they are very cute. The voice acting, the voice lines, the design, the clothing, the specific colors they choose. When they make a strong character,
Nice. I see my way clear.
you can see it in the design, you can hear it in the voice direction. Probably also his lore, but I don't have the resources to level him. So, I can't show you. But it will probably also say in his lore, you know. Yeah, see? The time of awakening for Resonator Kalkaro remains unclear. By the way, don't... You can correct me, but don't mock my pronunciation. I don't shit on people for calling Dehia in Genshin, for calling her Deya or Dia. You know, it's... For anyone that cares, it's Dehia. How do I know? Well, I'm an Aboriginal North African, so... But yeah, according to Kakara's report, he endured extended periods in hostile environments and faced numerous life-threatening situations. As a result, his forte naturally awakened as a means of self-protection. You know, like strong, reliable characters, you can see it in their design, you can hear it in the voice acting. Even the skill description, Dogs of War, Quid Pro Quo, Beast Instinct, Let's Sleeping Dog. You know what I mean? So they do that incredibly well. They do that incredibly well. However, what I would have loved, and I fought this, because I didn't actually. Excuse me. I know some people will say like, ah, fucking new generation MiHoYo gacha player, shut the fuck up, right? But I was never into gacha, and I didn't really understand it. Obviously I know the gachapon in Japan, the machine where you put in like $1, like 100 yen, and you get like a collectible toy, and the goal is to get as many as you can, right? But I'm talking about the games that use this. When I played Genshin when it released, because the way it was marketed, Genshin became huge in the West, right? It's like the first game of that sort that mainstream. It got mainstream, right? When I played Genshin and I unlocked the characters, and I was like, I looked at the ascension tree, right? Like this, and I was like, oh, okay, so you play through the story and you unlock these domains, and then you have to clear this hard dungeon, and then you get like an ascension point and you can ascend the character. Only to find out you have to like pull. And then I was like, and I'll elaborate further on that. I was like, okay, so if I want to buy the character, can I just pay like... The numbers don't actually matter. I want you to understand that. It's not about the actual numbers, right? But I thought, okay, can I just like pay $10 to get the character? Or how does this work? And you will never see me defend this. Doesn't matter if it's Wuva or whatever, you will never see me defend this. Then I went into the store thingy, and I was like, okay, so I have to pay $1, but it doesn't just give me $1, it transfers it into this currency. Then you have to transfer that currency into the other into the other currency. And at that point, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. And that was at the beginning of the Genshin. I still really enjoyed the game, and I put in like 200, 300 hours. So I was like, okay, let me buy the battle pass. You know, I'm enjoying this, so fuck it. I want to give something back, which up to each person, but it's fine. That's not what I want to talk about in this video. But um, so I come from like a background where I played a lot of games for my life. I have a lot of platinum trophies. I have on Steam a lot of 100% games. For example, off the top of my head, I could Hades. I have all of the achievements. I have a video on my channel about what is it, Ember Knights. I did that 100%, and I made like a video with like editing and all of that. By the way, I can't really edit my videos. My PC blue screens. But some people enjoy these kinds of like just rambling videos. But back to the point. In League of Legends, I played it as a teenager a lot. Way back, you used to be able to buy rune pages and runes, or you could just play the game and you accumulate points, right? But the main way they made money is through skins. And League of Legends, I don't play it anymore, so I don't know if they still do it. But you also had to buy like these pay save cards. Nowadays, obviously, you can do everything with PayPal, and you know. But you had to buy these pay save cards, and you could only buy, I think it was $5, $10, 15, and 20. And then later on, they added 50 and stuff like that. But in League back then, when you wanted to buy a skin, the skins were specifically, even though they also had like their own currency, like Riot points. If you paid $10, let's say you got 1,000 points, right? And there were 3 types of skins. There was basic skins, which cost you $5. Again, the numbers don't actually matter. I don't remember if it was actually $4 or okay. But the point is, you bought 10 euros or $10. You could either buy 2 basic skins, which were like recolors, 1 good skin, which is like $10, and that's it has some effects, but nothing crazy, right? Or you could pay $20, which is like I think it's called Ultimate. Completely new animations, completely new voice lines. Your character goes crazy. I think nowadays they even have one that goes further. But yeah. But then in this, and this isn't a Wuva specific thing, right? But then in this, in Genshin, when you want to buy something, you can't. If it costs $6, right? So 300. Let's say Jesh's skin. Jesh's skin it's on discount. It's 2,680. There is no 2,700. If it's not in a bundle, it costs 3,280. That you can buy. So the skin is $60. Now again, I am not talking about the numbers. If someone thinks the skin is worth $60, that is completely fine. It's their money. The company can decide the price. If you think it's worth it, you can buy it. So Wuva actually doesn't do that. Now, if it's worth $60 or not, that's for you to decide, but it's $60. On the discount, it's 2,680, which doesn't exist. So you would have to buy these 2. Or you just go for this one. You see what I mean? It's like this weird pricing. And again, I know this video is gonna be titled "Trying to Find the Good in Gacha," but I need to talk about this. Like, why can't I just buy Carlotta? This brings me back to my actual point. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I apologize. But I think you should always have options. So let's say Carlotta is guaranteed. I know there's a 50-50, which I think shouldn't be a thing. But let's say Carlotta is guaranteed an 80 pulse. I think you should have options. So either, if you want to buy Carlotta, you can pay, let's say $20. Again, the numbers don't matter. If you wanna... It's gambling. Let's just call it gambling. If you wanna gamble, 110 pull is gonna cost you $5. If you get lucky, you only paid $5 to get her. If you don't want to gamble, you'd rather just have the character. You don't want to deal with gacha. Maybe you even have like personal issues where you're like, I don't even want to do anything that's close to gambling, right? So you're like, nope, I don't want to do it. I'm fine with $20. Here's $20. Let me buy the character. Okay. To be fair, this video is gonna be called trying to find the good in gacha, not I'm finding the good in gacha. Okay. So character designs are great in gacha games. They're great. There's something for everyone. They know how to design characters well. And they have to know how to design characters well because that's how they make their money. Another point I think is great about these games, believe it or not, I don't care if you have a lot of money or not a lot of money. These games are free to play, right? Yes, they have a lot of predatory stuff and they hire fucking psychologists to try to get you to make it like a part of your life. And I talk about stamina systems and how much I despise them. But you have to understand that regional pricing isn't used very often. So, for example, if a new AAA game comes out, for me, it's gonna cost me 70 bucks. 70 bucks is more than 1 week of groceries. I'm not saying this isn't about 70 bucks is too much or not. Okay? But for me, it's more than 1 week of groceries, but it's doable. Someone that lives... I actually know this about Russia. In Russia, because their taxes work differently, and they have different laws for copyright and stuff like that. In Russia, a new AAA game costs 20 bucks. Of course you have to convert that into Russian money, but it costs 20. If we use American values or European values, it costs 20 bucks. Now here's the thing. If a AAA game comes out and it costs 70 bucks, in a lot of countries, believe it or not, those 70 bucks are not just 1 week of groceries. A bit more than 1 week, but 1 week of groceries. That money is actually 1 month of living expenses. I think it was in Brazil where like... I don't want to give you misinformation, but I think it was Brazil where 300 bucks is the same as 3,000 in America, for example. There's a huge difference. So back to the point of free-to-play being good, making these games free-to-play, it opens up enjoyment for way more people. If someone were to ask me, for example, because the stuff I complain about and the stuff I talk about, it affects people that either have a lot of time, that use all of their free time for video games. So it's not that they have a lot. There are people that have a lot of time. There are people that just use all of their free time on video games, right? Or people that just generally care about, because video games are their interest, so they really care about these games. So when you open this up to way more people, I think that's a good thing. Because you could argue that, I also mentioned this in another video, where I'd personally prefer it if these games just cost like, you pay 20 bucks once and then every time a new big thing, like an expansion, new thing comes, you pay 10 bucks and you get all the characters and all the new weapons. But let's put that to the side. That's a different discussion. So trying to find the good in gacha. It's free to play, which means a lot more people can enjoy it. And I don't just mean people that don't have a lot of money, but people in different regions, which it's easy to forget about if you're living in the West, like I live in the West. It's easy to forget that you might think, oh, this game just costs 20 bucks, that's nothing. yeah, it's not a lot for us, but someone in another region, they don't do proper regional pricing, so the 20 he still has to pay $20, but that's like 2 months of living for him. So free to play is actually, in my opinion, a good thing. The monetization, I believe in choices. Even if it's not predatory, because it is predatory. Gacha in by nature is predatory. Especially with all, you know, limited time only. We only have 2 weeks. The different currencies, you can't convert them properly. It's not just $10, it's turn it into this, turn it into this, turn it into this. You can't just buy, in most games, I'm not talking about Woover. We looked at the skin, but in most games you can't, it's not $20. It's $20, but you can only buy $25. So you have to pay $25 and the $5 are left over. I think Josh Strife Hayes made a lot of videos about I think he called it Diablo Immoral, where he goes into detail. Great video, great guy. Watch his stuff. So, character design is something very well done in these games. The free-to-play is something, excuse me, very well done. And I have to say, if someone were, for example, to ask me, should I play Genshin? And that person... I should have parried that. That person doesn't have any issues with gambling. He's not someone that gets tricked into spending. You know, he's just asking for... Hey, I want to play a game, I have some time. Is that something you can recommend? Is Genshin like something I should check out? I would tell him, absolutely, yes. Because as many complaints as I have about Wuthering Waves and Genshin and ZZZ and all of these games, if you start Genshin now, again, let me show you my exploration. Right, this is Wuthering Waves, but I also in Genshin I stopped in Sumeru. No, I stopped way earlier, but I came back a couple of times. My account is currently in Sumeru. Before that, I have everything on 100%. If you start playing Genshin now, excuse me, you get like what? 300 hours of content? If you explore, like I'm talking if you explore, right? You do the story and all of that and you explore. Let's say between 100 and 400 hours of content for absolutely free. And you can just dip.
Make it fast.
Like, just thinking about that is kind of crazy. If you tell me Monster Hunter is free, right? I know there's Dauntless, but Dauntless kind of, it shit the bed. But imagine, someone like Monster Hunter for free. How could you, like, how could I not tell someone to go and enjoy that? As much as I shit on, or criticize, rather, these games, because why not? Why can it not be better? So I'm gonna keep complaining, but I am naturally a very negative person. And I think that's just a human thing. I talked about this with a friend today. If you look at reviews of anything, you can just go on Amazon or Steam. When someone enjoys something,
Guests of the unkind.
they don't really voice their opinion. When someone really enjoys the product, they enjoy it, they have their fun, they don't really talk about it. When someone has a bad experience with something,
Swift and resolute.
they are going to make sure you know. And I think that's kind of just a human thing. Let's say you buy a car and the car works great. You're happy with the car, but you're not gonna really... I know there's people that do, but most people don't really go and say, this car is amazing, I love this car, it's great. Now, if you go buy a car and it doesn't work, everyone will know.
Make it fast.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm saying I think it's in human nature to be more talkative about things we dislike and less appreciative of things we do like.
Make it fast.
So again, I'm trying to be positive this video, but at the same time, certain stuff you have to call out. Like this. You just have to call out. So, what did I talk about? I mentioned character design is great. I think the free-to-play is a good thing. When it comes to gacha, I want options. Why can't I just buy the character? If someone likes to gamble, I'm not trying to impose my opinion on gambling on anyone. But why can't I just pay for the character?
Make it
If I want to pay, right? Why is there no option to just pay for the character? Why is it only gambling?
Make it fast. Guests of the
I used to talk about this,
unkind.
but
Make it fast.
privately, because I just started making videos again. The worst case scenario of, I'm pretty sure other YouTubers are talking about this nowadays. But when you go to the worst case scenario, it is horrendous in these gacha games. And people love to
Caged bird now.
shit on MiHoYo for this.
Mind's eye.
And I have issues with MiHoYo, but
Make it fast.
this is a genuine question. Is it because MiHoYo is so big? Or is it because people don't know
Guests of the unkind.
the other
Make it
gachas?
fast.
I think 50-50 is ridiculous. I think it's shit. It should always be guaranteed. I think the amount of pulls is also way too much.
Make
Like,
it fast.
I don't care what video game it is. Of course, the company can do whatever they want, but I don't care what video game it is. Like, a character should never be more than... I personally think 10, but I also come from like a fighting game, you know, background, so like DLC characters and season passes. It's a bit different. But
Winds, heed my command.
I'm pretty sure there are gacha games where, again, odd is fallacy. I'm not saying it should be that way. If you ask me, no 50-50, it's always guaranteed. You should have the option to just buy the character for $5 or $10. And if you want to gamble, you can gamble. I don't care. But I'm just sticking to how other games do this. I know, for example, in Heaven Burns Red, there is a banner that is only paid. So there are gacha where, and what I mean by paid is if you go into the banner here, right? The asteroid. You can get it from quests and exploration and yada yada yada, or you can buy it, right? But every banner, even though they have like these 20 currencies, at the end of the day, it's all asteroid, right? Even if you buy the real world currency, Even if you buy the Lunite thing, you still have to turn it into Asterite to do the pull. What I'm saying is, in Heaven Burns Red, for example, there is a banner that is only paid. So it's not Asterite, it's premium Asterite. So basically the Lunite, right? You have to use the Lunite. If you want to pull on this banner, you can't do it with Asterite. You have to buy Lunite, which you can only get by buying it, and you have to use that. And I know certain games have like 300 or something, and it doesn't carry over. But again, I'm not defending MiHoYo. I'm not defending MiHoYo. 50-50 should never be a thing. I understand that the gambling's there, and I'm also not saying free-to-play should be able to pull for every character. No. I'm not doing any of that. This is just a video of me. I'm basically just speaking into the void. I don't even know. I've already lost like most of my thoughts. Or like the train of my thought. I apologize. It's very unscripted, and I just want to speak, I guess. The worlds. So the actual characters and lore and the design in a lot of these games
Make it fast.
is great. I don't know if you played Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. It's really good. It's not a gacha game. But Grand Blue is a gacha game, right?
Make it fast.
But if we look at Arknights, how much content there is about that game. If you look at Genshin's world, you can shit on the story all you want, or the storytelling. And I don't want to get into the intricacies, but there's a lot of... Story doesn't just mean one thing, right? If we want to talk about... Technically, the story of Genshin is just... You and your sibling were traveling the worlds until the upholder or something of the heavenly principles stopped you for your arrogance, apparently.
Winds.
And now you're stuck on Teyvat and you're trying to find your sibling. That's the story. In Final Fantasy X, the story is there's this huge ass monster called Sin, and every now and then it runs rampant, and people send these chosen ones to go on a pilgrimage and sacrifice themselves to appease this monster called Sin. That's the story. It goes... way more stuff goes into it. The main cast, the supporting cast, the story is split into different acts. Way more goes into it, right? But anyways, in these games, again, trying to find the good in gacha. Character design is great. The music usually is very, very good. I know some people shit on Wuthering Waves, Huanglong, and what's the other region? Basically the 1.x music. But yeah, Jinzo and Mount Firmament. But I think Blackshaw's Archipelago has amazing music. Venecita has some crazy good music, especially in the Nimbus Sanctum. I really like the opera style. The I don't know what the other word for it is,
Make it fast.
but I really like the music in this region. I apologize. I keep losing my train of thought.
Make it fast.
I personally don't care much for... But this is something you have to give these types of games. I personally don't really care for, like, events, right? New Year, it's New Year's time, so they make like a cute little event with the character stories and no, I think it's a good thing. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. This shouldn't exist. I'm saying this is a good thing. I just personally don't care for the other types of events. You know, the web events. But I can see how people could enjoy it, right?
Guests of the unkind.
They have like cute little when you go to the website and then they have an event. For example, there was one in ZZZ. There's a web event right now where it has to do with the new character that's gonna come out. And you go design because she's like a superstar, a famous star, right? And she's asking the audience to create these little cards, I guess. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here, what is also something good about these gacha games, is the developers constantly try to not innovate, but it's kind of like MMOs, where it's not always about a new boss, a new raid, a new dungeon, a new class. Sometimes it's about making a little fun thing for the players. And by that I don't mean the fucking free labor that some companies pull. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the, hey, if you, whoever makes the best art gets a 10 pull. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the, it's Christmas time,
Guests of the unkind.
so let's say in Wuthering Waves you have Encore, right? So it's Christmas time, so let's make an event where Encore is waiting for Santa Claus, right? And
Plan with convention,
where is it?
then conquer by ingenuity.
And Alto,
You won't regret choosing Alto.
but he's from the Black Shores, right?
You won't regret choosing Alto's service.
Where do I see his allegiance? New Federation? Black Shores, yeah. So he and Rover and Shorekeeper get together to dress up as, you know, Santa Claus and the reindeer. Like Abby fuck it, man. Abby transforms into a fucking reindeer, or you use like an echo. You ride on the fucking morning Ikes, and you have to deliver with the. Let me go to the. Let me go to the Black Shores. You know the Q-bots? And you have like the Q-bots with you, and you throw like presents down. And then you visit Angkor. Yeah, these guys.
Make it fast.
You know that you know what I'm talking about? I think that's another thing these games do well. I hope I'm being positive, man. Being positive is really hard. I like to bitch and moan. I like complaining. Complaining is fun. um But yeah, man. I think let me think if I can find something else, but I don't want to make this video unnecessarily long. Yes, it's a lot. I'm rambling. I'm talking. Maybe one person out there enjoys this. But so I talked about the worlds. They are generally very well designed. I know a lot of people disagree. They say, nah, it's not. But you know, as someone who always goes for like the 100%, and they're kind of, it's usually, they don't expect you to do 100%. Like I did the, for example, the casket stuff, right? I did all of this. I have all the rewards. Um, like it doesn't take anymore. I still have 11 left over. You don't need to find all of them. I still have 3 of D. Like the game doesn't expect you to get all of them. Um, you could argue that I mentioned that in my other video. You could argue that the exploration in the 1.0 regions in Wuthering Waves specifically, that it's kinda ass. It's kinda rough. Fair point. I, for example, think the so oh, I apologize. The sonar casket tool, um, the loot map, the casket sonar, yeah. I think it should not take, uh, like it's way too expensive. I think it should be free. Like you should just get it, and you can use it, but it only shows one at a time. It doesn't show you all of it everywhere. It just shows you one at a time. You have to craft these, and this sucks. And it doesn't show it to you in the region you're in. So when I use those, right? For example, if I wanted to find the ones in the dim forest, and I specifically TP'd to the dim forest, it didn't show it in the dim forest. It just jumped over here and showed me one that was here. Or it showed me one that was over here. That was very annoying. But yeah. I like the worlds in these games. And I'm not just talking about the open world ones, by the way. Um, I'm not really into, like I haven't played Arknights a lot, but I like the world of Arknights.
Make it fast.
I like the world of Limbus Company, even though it is very depressing. You know, that's what I mean. Like the world they built. It doesn't. I'm not talking about open world exploration. I mean in general. These games generally they have very good worlds. They have great character designs. They make you interested in the characters. It's good that they're free to play. I explained why. Um, I talked about the things I don't like. Um, I'm still gonna stand. I will never budge. I hate stamina systems. I think they shouldn't exist. And if they do exist, they should be a reward. They should not be a punishment. I really like the events they do in these games. I'm not talking about, again, I'm not talking about the free labor. I'm not talking about the events where they're like, make us art that we can use and have the right to use as promotional material, and you get the winner gets a 10 pull. I'm not talking about that. I mean the in-game events, right? As I mentioned, if it's Christmas time, fuck it. Alto goes to the rover and says, hey, Encore is really looking forward to seeing Santa Claus. So you dress up as Santa Claus and you do the thing. And you fly around and you drop presents. You know, those kinds of things. But what I would like to see more of, but at the end of the day, everyone can upload on YouTube, right? It used to be English is hard, man. Broadcast yourself. So yeah, you could argue that. Why don't you just make those videos? Fair enough. But I would like to see more content about the actual games. And one of the reasons why that's hard to do, I get it. I'm the #1 stamina hater. is because these games limit you. They don't want you to play. They don't want you to play. On one hand, they do. They're like, look, we crafted this open world. This is what annoys me. We crafted this whole world. We crafted all of this lore. We made all of these interesting characters with interesting kits and synergies. And we made these different echo sets. Or relic sets, or whatever. And at the same time, you have to wait for the train to arrive. Fully recovers in 19 hours. Make sure to come back tomorrow, or you're gonna miss out. But yeah,
Guess
being
it's a
positive is hard, man.
Make it fast.
Swift and resolute. The hour is upon us. No hesitation.
But yeah,
Hopefully this helps.
whoops. Gacha games do have some, or games that use gacha as their monetizations.
Make it
They do have some really good stuff. And you can tell, because while it might seem niche, if you actually look at how much art, for example, is made about... And to be fair, I know that, like, Fate Grand Order, that Fate is like a huge franchise, and it kind of ties in with the... what's the name? Melty Blood. But not, I'm not actually talking about Melty Blood, the visual novel. It ties in with, Himeno... fuck, I forgot, man. But yeah, it ties in with Melty Blood, and it's like a huge thing. But Arknights, there's so much art about Arknights. There's so many memes about Arknights. Like, people care about these games. That's why I don't like the argument of when, for example, I complain about these kinds of things. And then you will have people say... I had that in my Genshin video. Where people say, well, just play something else. But... I want to play this game. It doesn't
Make
let
it
me.
fast.
And again, I'm not talking about... I keep repeating myself because I mentioned this in the other videos. The person that can only play for 1 hour, or only wants to play for 1 hour, and he likes your game, he's gonna come back and play for 1 hour. It doesn't... You don't need this FOMO stuff. If he likes your game, he will play your game. If he has time every day, he will play every day. If he only has time on the weekend, the fear of missing out might actually turn him away. But yeah, I want to play these games. I want to play Wuthering Waves. I want to try these builds. I would love
Plan with convention. Then
to
conquer
play
with
Kakaro,
beauty.
I see my way clear.
but I can't. I do have some mats to, like, level him, right? But his the weapon I have is level 1. His whole echo set is level 1. Even my Yanwu, he's also not level, but even he, if I want to level his stuff, that's not a lot. You know? So, when I talk about the good things and or things I think are good and things I think are bad,
Make it fast.
I'm not saying this stuff to shit on these games, because trust me, well, I shouldn't say trust me, because, like, trust me is like, you don't know me. Why should you trust me? What I'm trying to say is,
Guests of the
if
unkind.
I didn't
Bend
like
the divine
or didn't want to play,
Feathers incinerate.
let's say, Wuthering Waves,
Think fast.
Swift and resolute.
I wouldn't play it. I'm not gonna make videos about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna think
Hour is
about it.
upon us.
I haven't touched certain games in years. I don't care about them.
Incinerate.
I'm not. Maybe I make fun about them as like a joke here and there, but I don't actually think about those games. I don't touch them anymore. I'm done with them. It is what it is. But if I critique something, that means I care. And I want it to be better. And it can be better. Why shouldn't it be better? And I also don't like the argument of, well, they're making money. I get that. But should... Making money is fine. I'm not saying they shouldn't... these companies shouldn't make any money. No, that's ridiculous. But it can't all be about money.
Make it fast.
That's why I said earlier on in the video, I don't actually care, personally, if Jinxi's skin is 60 bucks. Because if I don't feel like 60 bucks is worth it for me, I'm just not gonna buy the skin. But it's good that it's there. Again, I'm not talking about the price. But it's good that it's there for the people that do want different outfits and skill animations for a character. And that are willing to spend that money because they will get more enjoyment. For example, in League, I don't play it anymore, but I bought all of the Kha'Zix skins. I bought the ultimate Udyr skin. And I bought some skins for my friends. And my friends also used to buy me skins. Because I like the character.
Make it fast.
I enjoyed playing the game. And we're both benefiting. The company is benefiting by making money. And I'm benefiting because I am enjoying playing this character even more. So I'm not. That's what I mean. I'm not saying the skin is a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. But it can't always be about money. So I don't like it when people say, first off, play something else. I enjoy this. That's why I want it to be better and I want to be able to play more. And that's why I'm talking about it. Otherwise I wouldn't talk about it.
Make it fast.
Yeah. I think I've rambled enough. Yeah, I'm gonna title this video trying to find the good in gacha games because I didn't stick to being positive. I tried, but it's... I just like to bitch and moan, man. I like to complain. I think it's funny. But of course I have valid criticisms as well. But if you watched the video, thank you for watching, because... Not because of YouTube, I don't give a shit. I don't want to make money with this. Fuck this. But because time is the most valuable resource. And I said this today and... someone in my chat... a viewer who actually became a friend of mine. He was joking, like, don't spoil it. But I basically said, the reason why I say thank you for watching, but I never mention stuff like the videos, subscribe and that, because I don't care about that. But thank you for watching, because time is the most valuable resource you have. We are all going to die. Our time is limited. And if you decided to spend almost an hour of me rambling, goddamn. If you decided to spend 1 hour of your time watching my video, I appreciate it. Even if you disagree with everything I said, I appreciate it. So, thank you for watching. Don't get bullied. Take care. And I might see you in the next one. Bye bye.